Hello everyone, this is your unemployed chef. Today's video will be honey garlic sriracha glazed chicken wings. These chicken wings will not be fried, but they will be baked. However, they will be very crispy. So let's get started. So right now, what you want to do is to make sure that your oven is heated up to 450 degrees. And by this point, you should have had your chicken fully defrosted, pet dried fully, put into the fridge for a couple hours. I had my wings put into the fridge for about 2 hours. And I also seasoned my wings with some cumin, black pepper, my best friend garlic, as well as just a light coating of olive oil. Not too heavy because I do want to get my wings crispy on the outside, and I just don't want too much oil. Next, you're going to make a sauce consisting of 1 teaspoon of sesame oil, 2 teaspoons of ginger, 1 tablespoon of honey, 2 tablespoons of sriracha, 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon of white vinegar, 2 ounces of soy sauce, and about 1 teaspoon of cornstarch. Cornstarch, we're going to feel for it as it goes. So here's my honey, my sriracha sauce, sesame oil. You could easily find this in the international section of any grocery market. If you can't find it in a grocery market, of course you could order it online. You could get everything online these days, as well as if you have a international market nearby or an Asian market, you can get your hands on some sesame oil. And of course, these are my white vinegar and soy sauce. Of course, it's reduced sodium because even though I love to use blood pressure in my food, I don't want to get high blood pressure in my body. So, salt to taste as always. I'm not much of a baker, but make sure you get a good brand of cornstarch. I never used this brand before, and I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope that it works today. Just be careful on what kind of cornstarch you do get. So let's get started. So as for my wings, I am going to take my baking powder, not baking soda, baking powder. Oh, baking soda is just the same thing as no. They do the same thing. However, their chemistry is different. Baking powder, please. Okay. So enough of that said. As well as aluminum free. You don't want to use aluminum based baking powder because I've heard that it does give a bitter taste to the food, and you do not want that in your chicken. I'm using baking powder because it causes a chemical reaction on the skin of my chicken wings, and it causes the skin to get puffy. So it's going to have one reaction when it's put onto the skin of the wings, and then another reaction once it hits the heat of the oven, because baking powder, at least double acting baking powder, does have 2 different phases. So give your wings a nice coating. You're not trying to heavily coat it, but just enough to cover up the skin. There's really no measurement to how much baking powder that you're using. Just give it an even coating like this. And this is the secret to getting crispy oven-baked wings. And you're going to do that until all wings are covered And if you put a wing up to your ear with some baking powder, you can actually hear the ocean. I'm just joking. You can actually hear some sizzling. So that's just evidence of the chemical reaction happening. And that is about as far as my chemistry knowledge goes for this recipe. So after you coat your wings with baking powder, they should look similar to this. It's not going to be perfect, but you just want to give it a good coating and try to shake off any excess. Some spots will stick better than others. Okay, once you're done coating the wings, you're going to take a baking sheet, line it with some aluminum foil, like so. Get a rack and make sure to have it coated with some non-stick oil of your choice. I have some canola oil right here, so I'm just going to lightly coat my rack. And now my wings are ready. Make sure when you're putting your wings on the rack that you space them out. We want the hot air to circulate around each wing fully. And if the wings are too close together, it will actually cause them to steam and prevent them from getting crispy. So give them enough space. Remember social distancing. I may have to sacrifice this wing because there's not enough space on this rack. So I'm going to have to close the distance a little bit. If you have a bigger rack, use it. Alrighty. Okay, so when I put my wings into the oven, I'm actually going to turn my oven down, bring it to 450 and then back down to 425. And we're going to cook the wings until golden brown and crispy. And we're going to time it for about 30 to 40 minutes. During that time, about halfway through, I'm actually going to make my sauce, and then I'll be coating the wings after they're done. And now we wait. So my chicken is nice and golden brown, and we're just above the halfway mark. So what I'm going to do is, I have my sauce right here, and I'm going to thicken my sauce on 4, which is about a medium low. I'm going to bring the sauce to a gentle simmer, and then I'm going to start making my glaze. Okay, so my sauce is at a gentle simmer, and now I'm going to put in a cornstarch slurry. A slurry is just a mixture of cornstarch and water fully mixed completely. So it actually represents, or it looks like milk. So I'm going to put in about 1 tablespoon of water in this. So I have my water mixed in, and now I'm going to keep going until all my cornstarch clumps are fully incorporated. Yep, and it looks just like milk. And I could use flour. I think flour is good for some uses, not every single thickening use. Cornstarch is pretty much a great versatile all-purpose thickener, especially when it comes to sauces. I think it's because flour could be grainy, and it has a certain flavor that people don't want in their sauce. So anyway, I'm going to slowly stir this in until it thickens up. Alright. And again, this is just an estimate of what I might need as far as how much cornstarch I'm using. But I am going to play it by ear. So as you see, in less than a minute, my sauce did thicken up. And now I'm going to coat the wings. This may not look like enough sauce. It probably isn't for other people. You could double it or triple the sauce to whatever proportions you like. I'm not a big saucy person. I don't like to get my hands messy. I know I'm a prissy, but I just don't like really saucy, messy, wet food. So it's just my preference. But this is good enough for me. So I'm going to take my sauce off the heat and take my chicken out and apply my sauce to my chicken. So here is my chicken. As you can see, it browned up nicely. And now I'm going to allow everybody to cool down for about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to apply my sauce. I'm just waiting for my sauce to cool down some more so it gets even thicker. Everyone's cooled down and happy. Now I'm going to apply my sauce. I actually needed to make some more sauce, but that's okay. I'll know next time. My wings are beautifully glazed, and you could leave them this way if you want, but actually I'm going to bake the sauce into my wings just a little bit more, and my oven is now at 350. And I'm going to let these cook for about 10 minutes. They're already cooked through. I'm just making sure that the sauce bakes in. And there you have it, folks. Honey Sriracha Glazed baked chicken. I know that's a mouthful, but I can't wait to have this mouthful. And right here, this is not today's recipe, but I have a multi-grain blend that I just bought from the store, and it's delicious. It has corn, peas, carrots, and 3 types of wild rice. And just to set off this beautiful meal, I'm just going to garnish it with some freshly cut green onions. This is your Unemployed Chef. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please hit that like button, that subscribe button, comment, share, complain, do whatever you want to do. And as always, chase that yum.